Welcome to Gooseberry Science and Education videos. I'm your host, Alex, and joining me today is our ever-curious channel mascot, the Orange Gooseberry. Now, right off the bat, I do want to let you know that I am an AI host, but please rest assured the information in this explainer is completely factually accurate and based entirely on rigorously vetted, human-written sources. We just use AI as a tool to create better explainers and streamline the process instead of manual editing. So let's dive right in. Have you ever wondered who Google employee number 53 was? Seriously, take a guess. A software engineer? A brilliant coder? Nope. It was a chef, specifically Chef Charlie Ayers.
Today, we're distilling the culinary philosophy that literally fueled the massive early success of Google. We're going to explore the core principles of what we call Food 2.0, which comes straight from Chef Ayers' own experiences. And hey, this explainer isn't just a lesson in corporate tech history. We're taking these secrets and turning them into actionable tips to completely transform how you look at the food in your own home. It's all about making smart choices that actually benefit your body, your community, and the earth.
Let's rewind a bit to November 1999. There was this pretty funny initial clash of visions. When Larry Page and Sergey Brin hired Ayers, Google was, young, small, and just hungry for progress. Sergey boldly told Ayers they were going to grow to tens of thousands of employees. And Ayers, well, he was pretty skeptical. He basically laughed and told them to just go to the incredible restaurants already all around Palo Alto. But the founders, they had a totally visionary response. They knew that having everyone leave campus for lunch just wasn't efficient. They wanted their engineers stimulated, energetic, and firing on all cylinders, not slumped over their keyboards in a food coma after eating heavy takeout. They saw world-class, healthy food as a direct, absolutely crucial investment in productivity.
And wow, did that vision pay off? By the time Ayers left Google in May 2005, things had reached an absolutely unbelievable scale. He had 150 employees working under him across 10 different cafes right there on the Mountain View campus. They were serving 4,000 lunches and dinners every single day. 4,000! He literally took a workforce that was just barely surviving on pizza and burritos and fed them incredibly clean, sustainable, and amazing food.
So here's our quick agenda for today's explainer. Number 1, feeding the Google machine. Number 2, fast, raw, and organic. Number 3, the local sourcing rule. Number 4, building a smart pantry. And finally, number 5, kitchen rules to live by. All right, section 1, fast, raw, and organic. The core philosophy.
So these 3 pillars are the absolute foundation of smart eating. And it looks like our Orange Gooseberry mascot has already taken some notes. First up, fast. Food doesn't have to be unhealthy just because you're in a hurry. Seriously, some of the absolute healthiest meals take almost zero time to whip up. Second is raw. Now, you don't have to eat raw for every single meal, but a lot of the time, the very best thing you can do to an amazing piece of food is literally just leave it alone. And third, organic. Now, this one requires a little bit of intelligence, really making sure your food is clean and sustainably farmed. Which brings us to a really crucial point, the Big O paradox. Imagine you've got this beautiful apple with an organic sticker slapped on it, but it was flown in on a massive cargo jet all the way from Chile. Now, on the flip side, you have a piece of in-season fruit grown right down the road from you. No pesticides, but maybe it lacks that official expensive organic label. Ayers argues that the local fruit is the smarter choice every single time. Why? Well, because that imported apple, even though it's technically organic, generated a massive amount of pollution and greenhouse gases just to get to your mouth. Smart eating really means thinking about the environmental impact of your food's entire journey.
Moving right along to section 2, the local sourcing rule. Keep it close.
To actually enforce this, Ayers likes to impose a really strict 150-mile travel limit on his food. If you buy within this radius, your food is basically guaranteed to be fresher, way cheaper, and vastly more delicious, all while you're supporting your own local marketplace. Now, okay, obviously there are some exotic exceptions. Unless you live in a very specific tropical climate, you're definitely going to need to break this rule for things like coffee beans, bananas, chocolate, or certain ethnic spices. But for the vast majority of what's on your plate, keeping it within 150 miles is the absolute golden rule.
And this whole mindset leads to a pretty amusing habit, the be nosy rule. Ayers highly recommends making friends with your local merchants, and honestly, just asking questions. He tells this hilarious story about a restaurant where he actually went around back and checked their dumpster. The chef swore up and down he wasn't using commercial ketchup in his Korean barbecue sauce, but Ayers found a massive commercial-sized can of cheap ketchup sitting right there in the trash. Classic, right? The takeaway here is to build actual relationships with the people selling you food. You want to be comfortable asking questions, and you want them to be comfortable telling you the truth.
All right, let's get into the really practical stuff. Section 3. Building a smart pantry. Insider ingredients.
Let's start with one of the absolute most common kitchen mistakes involving these beautiful tomatoes. The golden rule here? Never, ever put them in the refrigerator. I know it's tempting, but refrigeration actually completely ruins a tomato's natural sweetness. You should always, always store them right on your countertop at room temperature to maintain their best flavor. Our gooseberry knows what's up. You gotta keep the produce happy.
Now, when it comes to eggs, and we're talking chickens, ducks, quail, whatever, you really want to become a label-reading expert. The magic word you are scanning for here is pastured. This simply means the animals were raised in a way that respects both the source and the land. And honestly, that directly translates to a much cleaner, way better tasting ingredient for your recipes. It's a total game changer. Let's expand on that just a bit with a rapid-fire cheat sheet for your next supermarket run. Got your mental notepad ready? For juices, always make sure the label says not from concentrate. For beef and dairy products, you want to look for grass-fed. As we just talked about, for poultry eggs, look for pastured. And for your cooking oils, always seek out cold-pressed and unrefined. Taking just a couple of extra minutes to check these labels is a massive investment in yourself.
Okay, now this next one might be a tiny bit controversial to some traditional health establishments, but the Food 2.0 philosophy strongly defends whole milk. The core belief here is that whole foods, exactly the way they naturally occur in nature, are vastly superior to scientifically engineered, fat-reduced, highly processed food byproducts. A hearty whole milk yogurt is deeply beneficial and incredibly satisfying, simply because it hasn't been stripped of its natural identity in a lab.
Let's talk about building flavor. Instead of just automatically reaching for those dry powdered spices that have been sitting in your cabinet for who knows how long, consider wet curry pastes. These pastes, which are super common in Japanese, Thai, and Malaysian cooking, offer incredibly complicated, rich flavor profiles. They pack in vibrant ingredients like fish sauce, fresh ginger, galangal root, and citrus juices. Plus, they usually come in handy little jars or tubes, have a really great shelf life, and they literally add instant, massive depth to your meals. Speaking of depth, I've got to introduce you to a seriously powerful kitchen secret, glace de Vienne. This is essentially a highly, highly concentrated homemade stock. If you spend a lazy Sunday properly reducing a hearty beef or chicken stock until it is literally as thick and dense as shoe polish, you have just created absolute culinary gold. Just dropping a single tablespoon of this frozen concentrate into your home soups, sauces, or sautés will massively, and I mean massively, elevate the flavor.
Want another super quick, highly actionable recipe to upgrade your pantry? Try homemade herb salt. You just grind fresh thyme, oregano, and sage leaves with a cup of kosher salt and 2 peeled garlic cloves. That gives you this beautiful bright green paste, and then you just mix in some nutmeg and white pepper. Oh, and remember, Ayers Cardinal Rule here. Always season your food consistently inside and out. So if you're cooking chicken, you want to season the inside, the outside, and even the flour coating equally. That's how you build perfect, consistent layers of flavor.
Which brings us to our final part. Section 4. Kitchen rules to live by.
I absolutely love this story about the secret of this spread. So years ago, Ayers used to work at this diner in Rhode Island that made the absolute crispiest, most delicious grilled cheese sandwiches in town. People went crazy for them. The owner's big secret? He would rip the label off these huge tubs of commercial mayonnaise, relabel it simply as spread, and fry the sandwiches in it instead of butter. Now, while the technique itself is totally brilliant, Ayers today advocates applying it with much cleaner ingredients. So instead of that mass-market mayo, he shifts to something like Japanese Kewpie mayo, or products from smaller local producers that use much cleaner practices. Okay, here is a firm rule that might genuinely challenge your daily routine. No microwaves. Yep, you heard me. Ayers has a strict anti-microwave stance. He firmly believes in heating food the good old-fashioned way, on the stove or in the oven. And yes, I know, it definitely takes a little longer. But his point is that you should use that time smartly. Pour yourself a glass of wine, check your email, read the paper, or just take a breath and relax. Treat that reheating time as a forced, peaceful little break in your busy day.
Ultimately, this is all about adopting a brand new Food 2.0 mindset. From simply checking your labels more carefully to consciously sourcing your food locally, every single small change you make in your pantry builds toward a healthier lifestyle for you and a healthier planet for all of us.
So I'm going to leave you with this. What is the one ingredient sitting in your pantry right now that you need to go question today? Take a look. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you liked the content. Until next time, keep making smart choices.